something on some certain chemistry between us, was needling me about it, and I said, what are you talking about? Through the lens, I see everything.
That is a classic, by the way.
He referred to her as a high-tech blonde unit.
That high-tech blonde unit.
State of the art.
State of the art.
State of the art blonde unit.
She kept staring at. She kept staring at him. You know, a lot of other girls, but I would see her, and she'd be looking at her script, and as soon as she'd look up, she'd look back down at her script. I said, you know, there's a lady's cold tracking you, you know. I said, I guarantee it. He said, oh. He says, she wouldn't even go out with me. He says, you know, if he says, probably her line's busy as soon as she gets home. So I said, oh, I said, I think, you know, kind of like a cat looks at a mouse, you know. You better start doing mouse.
Kind of like Yoda did anything.
So anyway, he said, well, okay, I'll get her number. I said, you got to get her number. So he says, I will. So then the show ended. So the next day we started a new series. It was like on a Monday, a new episode. Did you get her number? He says, no. But he said, I said, oh man, he blew it. He said, no, I'll get it from her agent. So then, right after that, the series ended. And I think he went to New York or something, and either you called me about you were going to do an FBI, part of an FBI or CIA agent, you said you never fired a handgun. We were going to go out and do some shooting. I said, I'll go out to the target range, light up some weapons. Yeah. So, anyway, I said, by the way, did you ever go out with that lady? Did you ever get her phone number? He says, yeah. He says, we're married now.
That's great.
Yeah, I told you.
Well, he doesn't know, but I have a confession to make, because Faye asked for your number.
Wow.
First day of the shooting. As you know, I'm the one who cast Faye and created the character that was because of me that she, you know, because they're married.
My godfather, the godfather of my child.
Yes, that's great. And the weird thing about that was that she was a French girl, you know, she was Roddy's daughter, and we auditioned 25 French actresses. And she came in, and she's a valley girl, basically. You know, from France.
She's from Detroit. But
Yeah, basically. What I mean by that is, you know, she's American.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, and she came in, and I saw her for something else. She was doing something else. In fact, she was meeting with a guy she ended up doing D with, and who was at Universal at the time. And she was the character.
Yeah.
And I said, can you do a French accent? And she said, she said, she said, oh yes, I could do a French accent. I could do very well. And so when you go into the wonderful casting director we had, I said, go into him and don't tell him. Go into the French. I'll call and say there's someone who's French, who's really another wonderful French actress, because they wanted to tell us, so we've got to get a French girl for this. So she went in the whole French accent, the whole thing. So he thought she was French from the very beginning. And she beat out real French actresses through the whole thing. She was magnificent in that part. She will not remember this.
We just watched it. Yeah, I
You
know.
watched the uncut?
The uncut version, which actually,
Director's cut.
the reason that Faye called me and she said, she had heard one of the scenes where she admits that she fell in love with you, by the way. It was a scene in the church which was cut out. She talks about being a preemie, which they shot it at a church not far from Universal Studios. And we heard we were going to cut that scene out and all. And she called, she wanted a rough cut, which I gave her, and I think she still has.
Yeah, she used it on her reel, actors used to make tapes and show.
That's where she fell in love with him for real? Or
For real. For real. For real. And then she said to me, but the real reason I called is, do you have Steve's phone number? And I don't think she called him.
Smell something.
And I don't think she called him, but she wanted the number. But that was, I think, I felt so good about that.
Yeah.
And the sweet thing was that they went to, I guess, Bora Bora, which was like Bora Bora. And in the show, remember, she dies. And I think you said you redid the scene.
Yeah, we
You
brought her
threw a bomb
back.
and everything?
We brought her back.
Yeah. He redid a scene where she didn't die.
We improvised.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
Sure you did.
Smelling salts.
And it was love right there.
Hey, Steve, maybe next time I tell you something, you'll believe it.
You're the authority on everything, Bat. This guy, when we shot the show, if you visited any film set now at all, or TV set that shoots on film, all the cameras hooked up to a TV monitor. This is all sort of slipped in over about the last 8 to 10 years. So that instead of if the camera were here looking at you guys, the director would be over here, over there watching the monitor instead of watching you guys, because he's watching seeing just what the cameras see. And actually, Harvey Laidman is one of the only directors I've worked with. In fact, he is the only one in the last 5, 6, 7 years who still watches the actors on the monitor. But that comes from a time when the operator, when the director said cut or talking, he had to depend on, he had to look to the operator and say, did we get it? And the operator had to say, we got it. And he's the only one who saw it. And so his word and the director's faith in him was everything, because you could then look at the film the next day, and if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And our faith in him, too.
Nowadays, the operator is really removed from that responsibility, because everybody sees the shot, and it's right there. There's no question about it. But I truly think that you're as good as they get, and I never saw him miss a shot under the most.
Absolutely.
He worked under the most.
Absolutely.
It's all normal. Only as good as your last shot. You do 1,000 good ones and one bad one.
Yeah, you're dead.
Next one's in the glass.
It's like being a 007 agent, you know?
Yeah, it's for a brain surgeon or something. I know.
Which you are.
Well, I'm not that I played one.
You were.
You know, I told Patricia about this with Bass, but one time we were doing Hawaii 5-0, and we were in a helicopter, and he had a handheld camera in his hand. He's in the seat behind me, and I'm in the right-hand seat, and the door is off the thing, and he climbs out on the skid, and he's got one hand on the thing, and he says, grab my belt.
Grab my ball?
My belt. And he's hanging out there with that camera out.
This is really degenerating here.
Hanging out on the skid, and I'm holding
And you're holding him.
Yeah. We did some kind of crazy stuff. But see, they were going to have a chimpanzee do my job, but they had to take his brain out.
He said one time, he said, I wanted to get a kind of crazy shot of Jack Lord in the helicopter. I said, well, let's do a low angle, and Jack will get out of the helicopter. And he said, it's okay, you lay down on the ground, and it goes like this, so the helicopter landed on top of you.
Oh, were you the guy that directed that?
I was the guy.
You know what happened is Bill Lacey was the helicopter pilot. They had to, we shot it in Diamond Head Crater, and they put a big white rock about 6 feet from my feet, and another one 6 feet from my head. I had to lay down straight down and line up with those rocks, because when the helicopter comes down, he can see like where the pedals are, like out here, but he can't see directly under. And